Hey friends, welcome back to Sam's Garden Project. I know it's been a while since my last video, but things have been happening and I'll give you a bit of an update in this video. So it's been, the month of October has been past, but towards the end of October now. Plenty of rain, plenty of wind. I have been on a placement for the last 4 weeks for uni, and I haven't been able to do much in the garden. So I'll take you outside, we'll go to a garden tour. The weeds are crazy. Everything's a bit overwhelming, and I really need to get on top of things. The weather this year has been weird. Like I mentioned a few videos ago that we're in a La Nina, and so we've gotten a lot of rain, and I didn't think we would get as much as we have because the last few years has also been a La Nina, and it's been flooding in New South Wales and Queensland. But this year, the third year in a row, it's finally come down all the way to Victoria, and we've had a lot of rain. So I'll take you outside. Let's go have a look. So let's start out here. As you can see, plenty of green, lush growth. We've got roses. Everything's popping up underneath here. A whole bunch of weeds, but we'll ignore that. Roses have come up probably in the last week or so. And there's plenty coming through. This almond tree, they're growing quite well. I've got some borage and flower. So that's just starting to flower now. My apple tree, one of my apple trees, that's also flowering. Let's just ignore that mess down there. Are you alright there, miss? Nuts. You can hear the bees buzzing around there. Look at all these flowers on the lime tree. There's so many. It's just nuts. We've got some strawberries growing. I harvested one yesterday, ripened to perfection. It was beautiful. Overview of the garden. The garden beds is messy, is chaotic, but I will be spending some time in the next week or so getting on top of it. So let's start here in this garlic bed. Unfortunately, it's got rust, which is a fungal disease. I did try picking off all the affected leaves about 3 weeks ago, but it's come back and I haven't been able to stay on top of it. We've had a lot of rain, so I'm not sure when to harvest these. It's not looking like it's going to be clearing out the rain anytime soon, so I don't think the garlic's going to be the best this year, but that's okay. It's always a trial. Each year for garlic is a trial. As long as I get something to use, I'll be happy. In this bed I had a whole bunch of cauliflower which has been harvested. Got some leaves breaking down there. Little bits of kale just growing. These my alyssums growing at the base here. And I think that might be a poppy that just self-seeded. But they're looking quite good. I want this to bush out and be covering the whole bottom base of the garden beds for a bit of colour. We'll come around. I've got the onions. They're bulbing up a little bit, but still, like, it's taken a while. They're very slow growing. I'm not expecting much. Kale. This is just a random onion seed head, but this is slowly starting to go to seed as well. I really need to use it a bit more. That'll be coming out soon to make way for the summer crops. This orange tree, plenty of flowers as well. Everything is just so much lush growth. It's great. So beautiful. Over here is the jalapenos and the capsicums that have overwintered. Some of them have died, which is fine, but some have regrown. At the back there too. So I do have some more seedlings growing of capsicums. I'll just rip them out and replant the smaller varieties. In here on the opposite end of the garlic was broccoli. That's all finished and pulled out. I need to put a layer of compost on top to rejuvenate the soil. In here we've got celery, and I had peas here, but they're kind of not doing much anymore. I need to pull the peas out. Hey little bee, where are you? There. But this celery is all going to seed too. It's just going nuts. I had to pull out a whole bunch of it, and I'm going to pull the rest of it out soon because it's all going to seed. So this bed is going to be cleared out soon as well. What else do we have? My peppermint has gone nuts. It's just taken a bit of sun and warm weather for it to grow. Another apple tree that I have. You can see there's some apples growing. They've been pollinated. See how that goes. Underneath, planted with some pansy flowers and some silver beet, which is also going nuts. A little lime tree that's in a pot. Same with a mandarin that's in a pot. At the back here, this is a self-seeded red-veined sorrel, and that looks like it's about to go to seed too, so I've got to get on top of so much. Got some potatoes in a pot. They're looking super lush. I don't even want to show you this. This is just chaotic. I've got these are nectarine trees which had leaf curl, so they'll just fall off, and as the new growth come, it will start to look good. But underneath here, that's a spearmint plant, but then all this greenery is just weeds. Just weeds everywhere. More celery at the end of this bed. One of my pear trees, we gave that a prune. It's got some flowers on it. It's looking good. Apple tree at the back there, plenty of flowers on it. And so it's being pollinated by bees. I've got more. Got parsley down here. Still plenty of weeds everywhere. It's just nuts. Aloes in flower. My other pear tree, we gave them all a cut because we didn't get much fruit last year, and so we've got some being pollinated. I did put on a lot more flowers this year than last year, so that's good. More sorrel going to seed. My asparagus, which I've had to just chop whenever I found it because it was just growing massively. My peaches, also with the leaf curl, but they'll grow quite nicely. In here is a bit of everything, to be honest. I need to get these ready for the summer crops. I've got some flowers, I forgot what they were. More celery, some kale, red cabbage. We'll see if they grow or if they go to seed. More celery in here, and my white sage has just gone nuts as well. These flowers here have done so well. I love how it looks. Just so much colour next to my elderberry, which will need a bigger pot, but I love it. That's what I want, all this down the side here to be full of flowers. And let's continue on. Here, for example, we've got strawberries that are sending out runners, alpine strawberries. We've got alyssum in there. We had a seed tray with flowers and they've just gone nuts. More pansies. We've got the self-seed lavender. That's all nuts. Nuts. Strawberries all going nuts. It's just a mess. The avocado, surprisingly with all this rain, is actually doing quite well. I'll try and get closer. So that's doing okay. It's got lots of new growth on it. And then the self-seeded tomatoes, which they just pop up everywhere. Does anyone else find that tomatoes just pop up everywhere? We've got a poppy here. More peach trees. Lavender. Peaches are looking really good. They don't seem to be too fussed with the rain, but we'll see what happens. I've also got some zucchini in. I've got heaps of zucchini seedlings, so I thought I'd put two plants in. I probably did this about 2 weeks ago. Didn't quite like the weather, like some of the leaves. I've had a few cold nights, and we are still going to have a few more cold nights coming, so I'm not sure whether to plant some tomatoes. but looks like there'll be some flowers popping up soon. At the end is some poppy, kale and ashwagandha, which I need to do something with. This is crazy. I've got carrots and beetroot. I don't even know what they look like. It's all just green, lush growth. The beetroots look, they look okay. I've got baby beetroots at the moment. The carrots, let's pull one out and have a look. Growing quite well actually. Just a lot of greenery. They're got to try and outcompete each other. But the carrot itself is quite good. I'll just leave that there. At the back here we've got some cabbage too. And more poppies at the back. Got rhubarb. Look at the size of these leaves. This is the size of my hand. Absolutely huge leaves. Got my other avocado tree, which has got lots of new growth on it as well, along with some borage that I planted. Got the oregano that's come back to life really well. My third pear tree. This one looks a bit older and it's a bit bigger, so there's not as many flowers on it. I do spy some just there, which is good. Along with asparagus, I need to harvest that one right there. Oh, they just go nuts. And then here, I did plant out some beans probably about 2 weeks ago as well. So they've grown quite well. I need to pull out whatever's gone to seed in here, whatever was come out from the mulch. I think it's some kale or some broccoli of some sort. Let's lift this up and have a look. Plenty of greens. This is my favourite little section, the little herb bed. It's all in flower, it's all gorgeous. We've got the thyme that's flowering, the sage is flowering. I didn't realise how beautiful sage flowers are. There's a bee here. Gorgeous. So much sage. And then we've got lemon balm at the back as well. This lemon tree here is put on heaps of new growth, also plenty of flowers. I need to come and harvest all of them, but they just keep getting bigger and bigger. But if they don't fall off, then I'm just going to leave them on, I think, actually, because then it'll be good for salad dressings in summer, in the heat. Plenty of flowers on this one as well. Chickens are doing good. They haven't had as much free ranging in the garden just because everything's growing. And they're quite destructive. If you have chickens, you would know. They like scratching up everything. But I've let them out every now and then for supervised free time. Once they start getting into things, I'll be like, nope, had enough. Back into their little coop. Plenty of food, plenty of greens, but because we've had so much rain, it's been a bit sloppy. They're sugarcane mulch that I put as a little base bedding thing in here. It's all just become mush as it doesn't dry out because it's just been so wet. But they've been going well. So I've got some borage at the back here. I don't know if you can tell in the light, which is good. I want to kind of plant around the chicken coop. Same with like in these little cinder block gaps. Those like beneficial plants and herbs that are good for being near chickens. So they can peck when it grows through. There's something growing through, but it's just a weed, so they don't really enjoy that. But if we have like rosemary, nasturtiums, borage, lavender, things that kind of help prevent ticks and bugs and disease, try and grow that around so they're a bit healthier. I don't know how I'm going to get to that asparagus there. I need to lean through this jungle. Let's see what we can do. Also, I don't like spiders, so I'm keeping an eye out for spider webs before I stick my body into the unknown, like this one. There's a spider web just here. Oh gorgeous, you probably can't see much. I think that asparagus is just going to stay there for the moment. Let's have a look in the greenhouse. So if you've seen some previous videos, you would see me planting out these seeds and also an update on them. Plenty of blueberries on their way. Can't wait for these. I've got some straw flowers happening. These were self-seeded, so I had straw flowers in this pot last year and they've self-seeded themselves. In here we've got some blueberries as well, but they're not quite as far along. So in the greenhouse we've got all the seedlings. Let me just keep this open and let it air out because it's quite warm, the sun beating on it. Currently 36 degrees. So I've transplanted some things. We've got the yarrow, it's not doing too well. I need to repot these. Carolina Reaper chilies, capsicums. There's one little watermelon as well that survived, so that's good. All the chamomile. We've got oregano, got some bush basil and some echinacea in there too. So I did repot all these up. Look at this jungle. So these need to go out into the garden, but the weather conditions aren't right. Like, we think by the end of October, we're 1 month away from summer. You'd think that it'd be warm enough for tomatoes or cucumbers, warm enough for summer crop, but we're having lots of rain, lots of wind, and the overnight temperature, there's a few nights this week going down to 6 and 5 degrees Celsius, and that's just way too cold for summer crops. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. So down the bottom here we've got these are some cucumbers. Cucumbers here, ready to go. Got some loofahs, they're ready to go as well. We've got zucchini, I've got plenty of zucchini. I was going to try and sell them, but I think I'm just going to have to give them away to people because they're just growing too quickly. My tomatoes, I've got a mix of the mortgage lifter, like beefsteak and cherry or tomato tomatoes in here. So I had some zinnias too, but it looks like the earwigs have enjoyed them. I need to plant some more seeds of them. More tomatoes, more cosmos. Yeah, there's a few things that aren't looking too happy. Lemongrass, thyme's doing okay at the back. More tomatoes. Got borage. These at the back are pumpkins. They're butternut pumpkins, so I need to do something with them as well. These here are zucchini, blackjack zucchini, which just need to do something with. And more pumpkin, zucchini, some herbs. I need to repot these ones up, separate them. Snake beans need to go in the garden, lemon balm, repot. Yeah, dill, rocket, all that kind of stuff. So these are looking really good. I just need to keep an eye on the temperatures because when the door's closed and it's a sunny morning, the morning sun hits the greenhouse and it gets quite hot. Even if it's only going to be like 15 degrees for the whole day, it just gets hot so quickly. So we'll keep the door open for a bit. Alice loves sitting in the sun. Little black dog, aren't you? Let's show you my passion fruit. This nasturtium's finally grown and like taking off. It's got plenty of flowers on it now, but I'm not sure whether I like the yellow. I do typically like I prefer that dark red orange colour. I've got plenty of other yellow flowers in the garden, like with the roses and stuff, so I feel like it's a bit too much yellow. Back here is the passion fruit. This has done so well. It's just grown so much this spring. It's got some flowers opening up too. I really hope they get pollinated. Something about passion fruit flowers are just gorgeous. And plenty of more flower pods ready to be opened. I really want some passion fruit this year. So nice just to add to yogurt or anything. Eat fresh, put in smoothies. Yum. So towards the back we've got self-seeded calendula, which they've got heaps of flowers on. This is a mess as well. Got potatoes in there, my apple tree, which we gave a massive cut back, starting to reshoot. Some things gone to seed. Fig tree, which we cut back massively, that's also starting to reshoot. And the lemon tree, it's got some lemons on it. They're quite big, but and it's got lots of flowers on it too, but it's still not very healthy. I don't even want to look down here. Just been ignoring it. It's not, nothing's down there. We're ignoring it. So overall, everything is growing quite well. As you'd expect with some warmer weather, with some sunshine and rain. But I just need to spend a bit of time dealing with it. Because it's a bit too much when you're not in the garden for a while, especially with the spring weather. I want to show you these first before I go. These poppies, gorgeous red colour. I've never grown poppies before and I'm well aware that they're going to spread like crazy, but for now they're so pretty. You can see the remains from other flowers that have opened up, but they haven't lasted long because of the wind. So these ones will look nice and pretty for Remembrance Day coming up in November. Nice red poppies. They'd be gorgeous. So yeah, that's my garden update. You could say it's a mid-spring garden update. Or it's just me not being in the garden for a month. So a bit crazy, a bit chaotic, but we'll get there. Let me know any other Melbourne gardeners, Australian gardeners, that you're finding the weather has been extremely different this year. And spring, like the summer crops, mine aren't even in the ground yet, so I don't know when we're going to be harvesting summer crops. It might not be the year for it. We might have good winter crops and poor summer crops, but you can't change the weather. Can't you, Diesel? Nutheads. So if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. A bit of a garden tour, just an update of what's been going on. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you think anyone would appreciate this video, it's just a Melbourne suburban gardener doing their best to manage it. Just share it along to your friends and family. I'd appreciate that as well. Yeah, so if you want to know anything in particular, just put it in the comments. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks guys.